Good morning. I'm going to be reading chapter 19 of The Mighty Miss Malone. It starts on page 156 and it ends on 168, so I'll be reading some pages, not all. The Malones meet Marvelous Martin. 3 days before Mr. Rhymes was supposed to give us a ride to Detroit, and it started like so many other days lately, gang after glee, which at the beginning of the book, I told you what that little phrase meant. Which means got off on the wrong foot, or something goes wrong. It was too early in the morning for him to be awake, but Jimmy hollered up the stairs, "Ma, Ma, it's the landlord." Mother jerked up in her bed and yelled, "Tell him I'll be down in a minute, Jimmy." I did my morning wash up as fast as I could. I heard Mother raised voice as soon as I got to the stairs. "You simply cannot do that. We're paid until the end of the month. That's 3 more days. Mrs. Malone, what can I say? You've been good tenants. This is just as hard on me as it is you. But I got kids that like eating too. And I got 3 families who are going to pay me 4 times as much to live here as you do. 2 of them were ready to move in yesterday. I can't afford to lose them to someone else. My hands are tied. It's nothing personal. You gotta go. Now." "No, Mother," Mother said. "We have rights." The landlord said, "Fine, go hire a lawyer or call the police. But until I hear something from a shyster or a cop, you're out of here. Fellas, start moving their junk out. The furniture stays." Jimmy yelled, "If you touch one more thing, I'll gut you like a chicken." "Jimmy!" Mother screamed. I got to the porch just as Mother pulled a straight razor from Jimmy's hand. "Where did you get this?" She looked so shocked. I think she'd forgotten all about the landlord and his workers. Jimmy said, "A man's gotta look after things, Ma." Mother said, "Since when does carrying a razor make anyone a man? You get inside and get dressed." Jimmy scowled at the landlord and the 3 other white men who he went inside, but said to the landlord, "Give me until noon. I have to walk over to a friend's house and see if he can come pick up our things. You know we're supposed to leave for 3 days." The landlord said, "Noon, only because you've been such good tenants." He got in a truck with the other men and drove away. So tenants mean the people that live in a place that they're renting. Mother went into the house and came back with her pocketbook and Jimmy. "Deza, I don't trust that man. If he comes back early, don't interfere. Just make sure they don't steal anything. Go in and pack up the rest of your clothes, strip all the beds, and bring everything downstairs. Jimmy, you're coming with me." Jimmy said, "What? You're leaving Deza to look after the house? To do my job? I don't have time to walk over to Mr. Rhymes' house, get him, and come back and get you out of the hospital or out of jail for attacking somebody. Besides, I need an escort. You know how that side of the town is." Jimmy put his hands up like he was driving the manipulation mobile. "You have a choice. Walk beside me like a gentleman, or..." Jimmy scowled. "If Mr. Rhymes is home, we shouldn't be long." She gave me a kiss and I went back inside. I stripped the beds and put everything in boxes. We had packed most everything else and our clothes. All that was left was my Sunday school dress, my books and essays and tests, and Mrs. Needham's niece's dress and shoes. I folded my Sunday school dress and wondered if I could run it over to Clarice's. Maybe if Mr. Rhymes had time, he could drive by that way and I could leave it for her. I left it on my mattress just in case. I took the few boxes from Mother's room and all but the last one from mine downstairs. I started looking through my essays to see if there was anything to throw away. Before I knew what happened, I was sitting on the bed reading them. It was a pleasant way to forget about an unhappy job. I feel like a lot of us do that, when you're supposed to be doing something, but you get kind of lost in what you're doing because it makes you happy. I read through one essay and decided I'd make 2 piles, one for essays and tests that would come with me and one for those that I could leave. I read some others and they all went in the go with me pile. Nothing wrong with that. The next time I looked up, the go with me pile was huge and the other pile was still empty. The screen door slammed. Oh no, Mother and Jimmy. Had I been reading that long? I put all the papers, the dictionary and thesaurus, the clothes and the shoes in the box and slid it under my bed. I ran downstairs and my heart near exploded into my throat. A huge, strange white man was in the middle of our living room with a box in his arms. I screamed as loud as I could. The man dropped the box, screamed too, then flew out of the front door. I ran behind him and slammed and locked the front door. Someone said from behind me, "What in Sam Hill?" the landlord came out of the kitchen with a mop in his hand. "Time's up, girlie. Unlock the door. I gotta get this cleaned out now." I screamed again. It had scared that first white man. Maybe it would scare this one too. He set the box down and waited patiently for me to breathe. "Are you done?" he said. "Neither one of us wants the cops, but I'll call them if I have to. Unlock that door and get out of my way. Your mother asked for until noon, and it's past that." What could I do? I unlocked the door and went outside. The men had already moved most of our stuff out onto the sidewalk. I'd have to sit and watch them make sure no one was walking by to steal anything. Not that there was much to steal. After a while, the landlord put the broom, a mop, and 2 buckets on the sidewalk and said, "That's everything. Tell your mother I do feel bad, but business is business. I don't have to do this, but there's something for leaving early." He handed me 4 $1 bills. I stuffed them in my pocket. I got mouths to feed too. After he left, an old car stopped in front of the house. A Mexican woman called out of the window, "Excuse me, miss, is this 509 Wilbur Place?" "Yes, ma'am." She said something to the others in the car and they cheered. A big family got out of the car. "It's beautiful. Are you going to be sharing the house with us? Do you need help carrying these in?" She pointed at our boxes. "No, ma'am, we're moving out." "Oh, I hope your next home is as beautiful as this one." "Thank you, ma'am. I hope so too," I said. "Ma'am, do you mind if I sit on the steps until my mother comes back? She's getting a car so we can load our boxes." "Please," she said, holding my screen door open. "You can come in and wait if you want." The family seemed like they were good of character, but I couldn't stand to see them living in my home. "Thank you, ma'am, but I have to watch our things." She said, "Rosario, can you keep you company? Maybe you can tell about the neighborhood and school and any nice little girls she can be friends with." A girl a little younger than me said, "Hello." I said, "Hi." We sat next to each other, but neither one of us felt like talking. Her family was inside screaming and yelling as they went from room to room. You would have thought they were finding golden nuggets. Every time they yelped, the girl would look toward the door, then back at me. She had the most beautiful, sorrowful black eyes and eyelashes that were as thick and black as the teeth of a comb. I told her, "You can go in if you want. I'm fine out here." She said, "Really?" "Sure." "Thank you." She jumped up to the front door. I said, "Be careful. If you let it go, the screen bangs and loud and disturbs people." "Okay." She seemed like a sweet person, so I said, "If you look under the welcome mat, there's a little knothole in the porch that my brother and his friend used to shoot marbles into. If you can figure a way to get underneath the porch, there must be 1,000,000 of them down there. Jimmy and his friends think the marbles fell all the way to China, which is geologically exactly on the other side of the earth from Gary, but that's nonsense. They're still under the porch." So I'll pause here on the top of 162. It's interesting that this family coming in thinks that this is the most beautiful house that they've ever seen. But think of the times that we're in. We're in the Great Depression. And are they going to be the only family that's living in this house? And when are Jimmy and Mom coming home? Where have they been? They're only supposed to be getting Mr. Rhymes to give them a ride, and it's been hours. So continue reading and see what happens. I'll see you later.